Oh, yeah, boys. Listen, I don't normally wear a hat, but I had to wear a hat for this occasion. Oh, sweet. I'm getting all these notifications that I'm live right now. I am live. I am live. I am live. I know I've been going live lately, just kind of randomly and willy-nilly. All like, I don't really care. I like it. I like it. Just posted a link in the comments for Body Language Mastery Q4. If you have not yet joined, you are a schmuck, and you might as well do so because the motherfucking God himself says so. Yes, I have a tarantula on my head. That's why I'm wearing a hat. He crawled up there. All on his own. What the hell is going on, Nathan? How you doing? Are you signed up for Body Language Mastery Q4? If so, give me a 1 in the comment section. If not, tell me why you're not signed up for Body Language Mastery. All the cool kids are doing it. Conk, que pasa? Everybody meet Tarantino. Tarantino the tarantula. He's chilling. He's chilling. He's going to be my money spider. He's going to bring all the money to me this year. If you guys don't have a tarantula, you're not cool. And if you're not a part of Body Language Mastery, please do check out the link below. 1, that means you are a part of it, Nathan. Good job. Seth, how we doing today? I'm going to let a few more people file up in here before I really get going. I have arachnophobia, but not for American tarantulas. Dude, this guy is super fucking chill. Look at him. He's just chilling on top of my head. I wonder. Oh, look at this motherfucker, dude. Yo, this guy's crazy. Look at him. His name's Tarantino. He's the fucking man. Look at that dude. That's a good looking spider. Have I heard of 11X from Mike Winnett? No, I haven't. I feel like my hair's all fucked up. I went ham at the gym today. Oh, shit balls. What happened there? Went ham at the gym today. So that's Tarantino, my friends. Wore a hat to the gym. Asian tarantulas are significantly less chill. Yeah, I think this guy is from Colombia. Something like that. He's a striped knee tarantula. $25. Not too bad. I always wanted one. I've always wanted a tarantula. I don't know why now. I got a cool little like curio type of setup over there, and I have like one little block missing, and I was like, it'd be fucking cool as to have a tarantula there. Might be able to get the girls out of here faster too. How many of you guys were watching Rule 0 today? For those of you guys that were watching Rule 0, let me get a 2 in the chat, because there's some pretty good combos. There's some not so good combos too. I'm going to hold my opinion, hold my tongue there, but yeah, dude, I'll tell you one thing too, Conk. When I was in Iraq, they had these things called I just had the name of them in my banana spiders, I believe. Is that what they're called? Camel spiders, not banana spiders, camel spiders. They're not really spiders from what I understand, but they are arachnids. Maybe they're, I don't know. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate you throwing a 2. Seth with a 2. Conk with a 2. Brap with a 2. Butte. Ween with a 2. Camel spiders. Those motherfuckers would chase you too. They would get huge. They would also when we get bored in the desert, we would pit scorpions against the camel spiders. Yeah, camel spiders suck, dude. Those things are crazy. They actually fucking hiss. They would hiss at you. Like, dude, no. Shut the fuck up. That's creepy as fuck. This guy, he's cool as fuck. He's just chilling. I just literally, I took a pen, got him out of his little thing, put him on my hand. He tried to, run away a little bit, and then after that, he's like, oh, this is futile. Fuck it. Let's just chill. Decided to crawl up my arm and onto my head, and that's where he's been perched since then. So letting his cage get warmed up right now, his little terrarium. I haven't introduced him to my dog. I don't know how my dog is going to do with that. So, but my dog's loving the fucking crickets over there. Anyway, so who's excited for body language mastery Q4? Yeah, dog might eat it. He might eat it. Bird eating spiders are crazy too. I definitely want to get a larger tarantula. This is my first one. See how this goes. See how long Tarantino stays with us. See how much. If it's too much work, I like low maintenance. Anything in my life, I like it to be low maintenance. That's just the type of person I am. Tarantulas seem pretty low maintenance. If I could pull them out every once in a while, bring them on a podcast or whatever, pull them out for like a little party trick. But I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, I remember going to a party and someone had like, it was like a kid's birthday party. And they had like all these reptiles and all this other stuff. Yeah, dude, that's what the lady there was telling me at the reptile store. She has one that's huge. There's another one that was fully grown, beautiful, $256, 200 some odd dollars like that. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do that just yet. That's like when I'm loaded and I can afford to have like maybe a room of these motherfuckers, that'd be epic. That'd be so cool. I grew up with snakes. I don't really like snakes, to be honest with you. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. They're kind of smelly. They're kind of assholes. They're kind of not that fun. You kind of forget about them. That's why I was like with this guy, $25, no big deal. You know what I mean? If I forget about him, I forget about him. So be it. Like I'll try not to be an asshole, but no big deal. But I don't know. I've been seeing them. I've been seeing tarantulas pop up lately. It kind of came up. I had one in my dream. I was like, you know what? That's a sign. I looked up what the meaning of having tarantula would look like. Don't say that he looks female. We don't have females in my house. He's a man. I had a ball python brap. He was a cocksucker. I named him Mitch. I don't know if you guys remember a famous snake in a movie named Mitch. If anyone can remember the movie by which I named my snake, my ball python, Mitch, you can remember the movie. I don't know. I'll think of something. Mitch the bitch. So we got 1, 2, 3. I think we got a couple people here that said they're already looking to get into body language mastery. But the next question is, how many of you guys are a part of the WarTribe? www.thewartribe.com. We got some pretty good stuff going on in the WarTribe right now, guys. Quite a few people have joined, especially as of late. The conversations are getting that much better. And not to mention this, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to launch a Zoom meeting where we're going to do like an hour-and-a-half long webinar, which is going to be like a mastermind, where we get to kind of talk about the problems of the week, and we get to discuss what troubles we're having. And the cool slant that I kind of throw with that is I'm really, really good with cutting out toxic relationships, being able to help out. What's that? Not yet, dude. 2020 resolution as far as what? As far as WarTribe? That's fine. I think though, what I'm going to do is something like John is doing though. Every quarter, I'm going to bump it up $10. So it's $20. It's $20 per month unless you just pay straight up $200. What's going on, Philip Franklin? Philip is a part of the WarTribe as well. He's throwing down pretty hard in there. Really enjoying the convos. Really enjoying the stuff that he brings up as well. But the webinars are really going to be a key essential part of this. And then I'm hoping that the webinars will also motivate us to want to meet up physically and do different things that way. But I really want to help guys. I'm seeing, especially in the WarTribe right now, that identifying toxic relationships and then taking the steps to remove those are huge. And the biggest thing is anytime you are removing a toxic relationship, you do and should have some kind of mentorship there to kind of keep you accountable and to give you some kind of keep you kind of moving in that direction. On top of being able to post up your online dating profiles, we talk about style, we talk about the order of your photos, we talk about all the good stuff. The other thing that I really want people to start doing, I was talking to another guy on Twitter yesterday, start posting your texts. Text game is huge, and a lot of you guys fuck it up. And I'm a smooth motherfucker when it comes to texting. Buteween, I am not watching the new Top Gun. I don't watch any new movies, not since about 3 years ago, and I sure as shit, I don't go to the movie theaters. And I know this sounds weird. This is kind of like me being on my pedestal, but it's also me being a man of my own word. If I don't support fucking Hollywood, if I don't support any of the stuff that they're doing, why am I going to go put money in their fucking pocketbooks? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. It's SJW cancer, 100%. Yeah, Conk, I might give me a little bit to see what kind of flow that I go on, and then I'll send you a. Actually, I don't think I have a way for me to message you. Are we friends on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? Yeah. So Mr. Caliber 43. Let me talk about that. Oh, wait, whoops. You guys are pumping right now when it comes to that, when it comes to the chat. Let me go back to all this stuff first. So I don't spend any money going to the movie theaters any longer. First and foremost, the movie sucks. The movies suck. They're no longer about the storyline, the mythology, building up the characters, the character arcs. It's now all about whiz bang pop and just pretending as though, yeah, exactly. And it's all about, here, I'll leave that up a little bit longer. Yeah, it's all about instead entertaining people. And that's what they want to leave. They want to go on a roller coaster ride rather than going on a no kidding, like in-depth, detailed something that makes sense, right? Where there's an arc, where there's a full-blown arc. They would much rather have just, the spectacular. It's like going to a amusement park now. They just rather be amused and entertained rather than having any type of depth and character to it. So yeah, when was the last time Hollywood actually wrote something original? When? Like answer that. To be honest with you, though, I'm going to tell you this, and this is actually why Tarantino is named Tarantino as well, besides the fact that he's a tarantula. Once upon a time in Hollywood, guys, I was not expecting that movie to be as good as it was. As a matter of fact, I want to watch it right now just because the ending was fucking so awesome. When Brad Pitt threw the fucking Bruce Lee into the car, all this other stuff. Yeah, Conk, I'll add you on Twitter here in a second. Just let me flow here a little bit. We'll talk about this here in a second. But yeah, dude, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a really good fucking movie. And I was expecting it to be shit because, believe it or not, Quentin Tarantino he's a bit of a leftist. And by bit, I mean, he's quite a leftist. He's always talking about race and all sorts of other shit. Although, from what I've heard and what I've seen in some of his interviews, yeah, exactly. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was great. 2 hours of build up for an insane 15-minute finale. Talk about fucking plot twists and moving it, like building the characters in that direction. Like that was fucking really good. Not like that's what everybody talks about now. Cinematography, like no, the writing was fucking awesome. It's what kept me around, and it's what made me like afterwards feel like it was a well done movie. Another good movie that I saw recently too was The Art of Self-Defense. And I've watched both these movies on the plane ride home from Miami too, because I just, I don't have any trust and faith that movies today are really going to be that good. I'll tell you one thing, Buteween. I don't want any bit of Star Wars in my fucking mind. I don't want it in my mind. I have not seen. I saw The Force Awakens. It was shit. After that, I said I'm not going to watch anything brand new from Star Wars. Don't tell me anymore, Nathan. I'm going to punch you. I will reach across the screen. I'll sick my fucking tarantula on you. I did see Rogue One. I gave that a chance. I thought Rogue One was pretty good, but that's because they were pretty much working off of a Lucas timeline, right? But everything that's brand new since then, I haven't watched Solo. I haven't watched. I don't know what the one before this one was. What was the name of it? The last Star Wars. Anything with Rey. I fucking hate Finn. I thought Finn was the worst character ever. I haven't seen this new Asian character that they like pretty much like pushed off Twitter because she was so sensitive. I haven't watched any of these new ones. I don't want those storylines in my fucking consciousness whatsoever. One of my dreams, guys, is this. I want to become so stupid, filthy rich that we will rewrite the new Star Warses completely, right? And refilm those. And I want to become so stupid rich that we will redo the last season of Game of Thrones and give it the fucking proper character arcs and storylines that need be. I don't care if it's the same actors, right? It's not going to be the same actors, obviously, but at least we're going to get the closure that we need. That's how stupid rich I want to get, where it's just like, fuck it, who cares? Let's do this. Like, just for my fucking pleasure, right? New Star Wars, gone and erased from history. The final season of Game of Thrones, gone and erased from history. And then we remake them. I did watch The Joker too. I wasn't, I watched it in a ripped version offline. So it wasn't very good quality. I thought that the acting was great. The cinematography was great. I just didn't like the storyline too, again, to be honest with you. The Joker is manic. He's a manic psychopath. He is like, he's crazy. He's a lunatic. This kind of depressed incel. Like I'm happy. I'm happy that they brought some light to that type of stuff because it does kind of tie like the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times, right? Yeah, I want greater than Dubai Prince money. I want all Dubai Prince money combined in my bank account plus what's it called? All the money and gold that the fucking Catholic Church has in possession in Rome, on top of everything that Queen Elizabeth has, and pretty much the Fed, like all the Fed too. Like that's how dumb rich I want to be. With fuck you money, I'm gonna buy a 20 kiloton nuke and set it off in Hollywood, says Franklin. I can think of more fun ways, but whatever. Ajax, welcome to the fucking party. Asking if that's a tarantula on top of my hat. Indeed it is. You guys can probably hear the crickets in the background. Oops. Fuck yeah. Damn, get into crypto then. Yep, absolutely. Tommy Bahama's in the house. What the fuck is up? Season 8 was fucking terrible, except when she smoked King's Landing. Yeah, that was badass. That wasn't too terrible. Yeah, I would have done it all a bit differently. I probably wouldn't have killed off the second dragon because that was dumb. There's a whole bunch of shit I would have changed. We still have no clue what the fuck the Night King was doing. Like there was no fucking closure with the Night King whatsoever. The Night King should have fucking had a conversation, and I have a whole plot line for the Night King. Why he was there, why he was leaving all those signs, why he was coming after Jon, why he was coming after Daenerys. And I have a better way of killing off Daenerys as well. I think we need to keep the incest angle. And I'll tell you how the incest angle should play out. That's part of what the Night King says to them. He says, listen, I'm here to retilt the boundaries and the barriers of darkness and light, right? Positive, negative, feminine, masculine, ice and fire, because that's what the whole thing's about. Ice and fire. Jon is ice and fire. Daenerys is fire. So they need to create a baby that's ice and fire that they have to give to the Night King. But Daenerys then dies in childbirth, and then Jon becomes the king. That's how it should end, right? But the Night King also says, if or when you guys deliver this baby to me, or if you sign this blood pact with me, that's going to release me from the reason why he wants the kid to take over and why he wants to take the kid is because all the kids that he was taking before from all the boys that he was taking before from Craster, those were turning into his generals because Craster had some kind of blood, right? And there's a blood agreement. But the Night King needed to transition, and he needed an heir. And that's what he needed from Jon and Daenerys, right? Was their baby so that he can leave, so he can fucking transform and break his curse, right? So that's the plot. And then what he agrees to do is storm King's Landing. And now it'll be all 3 dragons with the ice and fire. And then once that happens, and then once the baby is delivered, he's not going to tell Daenerys that she's going to die in childbirth, but then everything is complete. And then Jon sits the throne in an ethical way. He doesn't have to kill her. Pretty fucking good. Give me ones in the chat if you like that ending. Waiting for the ones. Fucking huge Game of Thrones fan. Anyway, with that said, I'm not seeing any ones in the chat, so fuck you guys. That's how I'm going to end it anyway. I'm going to be richer than you, so I'm just going to drape my fucking testicles across all your faces with rewriting the finale and actually going through with having it done. And you know what? Just to spite all you motherfuckers, I'm putting a 1 in the chat myself. Oh, there we go. We're getting ones. It just took some time. Yeah, pretty badass ending. Never watched Conk. You are Satan himself. I'm just fucking with you. Absolutely one of the best shows up until the ending, mainly because Disney came in and they fucked that up too. You want to know how Disney fucked it up? Disney fucked it up because they offered fucking the 2 Daves a spot in directing or writing for this upcoming film, right? The film that just came out, that's a total bombshell. And it had everything to do with being down with the patriarchy and all this other stuff. They could not allow a masculine ending to occur. So they just destroyed it. Like, that's what they did. They allowed it to implode. You got to also understand that, just to let you guys know, 1/3 of Disney is owned by China. So that's why a lot of this SJW stuff is being pushed through as well. Now that I got a whole bunch of people in the chat to 21 viewers, it seems like I'd like to get some. I'd love if you guys hit the like button. That'd be fucking awesome. Even better, go ahead and sign up for Body Language Mastery Q4, because we have a closure on that come 12:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 30th. Also, the WarTribe. If the money for Body Language Mastery is too much for you, just join the WarTribe. So we got a little downscale. My stuff, it partners very well with John's stuff. Very well. Disney Plus, Netflix, mass brainwashing, mass indoctrination. It is no kidding social engineering that's going on with all this stuff. There's a reason why Obama decided or tried as hard as he could in order to get their deals with Netflix, him and Michelle, and they're producing all sorts of racial and SJW type stuff. It's part of this whole globalist push. Anyway, BLM is totally worth the price. Seth, you are 100% right. As I said, I'm going to actually type this out. I'll do Body Language Mastery, just so you know what it is. Because I didn't really put the oopsies. Body Language Mastery, Control V. There we go. All right, guys, let's get on topic. Conk, I fucking lost all your stuff up in here. I'll tell you what, dude. Just because it's a little bit too rapid fire, I'm gonna add you on Twitter later on, and I'm gonna pull you in. And we could do I'm available, so we'll just do a cast on some stuff, because I want to talk to you about addiction too as well. Just because I have a whole bunch of topics and stuff that I want to talk about with that. I haven't seen your interview with Troy yet either, so I'm gonna save that. I'm not gonna watch it, and we'll just shoot from the hip and talk about it like I'm brand new to it. So let's schedule a time. Yeah, let's schedule another time for sure. Just because I'm kind of all over the place right now anyway. So yeah, the topic tonight is this. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring it up is I actually watched a video yesterday, and it pissed me off. It was Ryan Holiday, and he was talking to, who the fuck was he talking to? USC football team. Fuck USC too, by the way. Let's see if I can share the screen. Nope, I'm going to do that. Share screen. Share audio. Share. Chrome tab. Can you guys see this? Hey, perfect. All right, you guys can see it. Let's see if we can hear it. So I'm going to click play on this mofo.
And so if ego is so destructive, right, why is it so common?
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
My theory is that ego is sort of a defense mechanism. It's things are hard, things are scary. We don't have a lot of good examples of what a humble, confident leader looks like. And so because it's scary, because we're far from home, because we are trying to do things that we don't have a lot of good examples for, ego's like a blanket. It's a shield. It's a way to make us feel less scared. Rather than owning that feeling, we put this sort of falseness in front of us. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they say that ego stands for edging God out. The idea being that instead of sort of being humble, instead of being small, instead of appreciating the reality of our situation, we take up ego as this sort of protective armor. But it's not armor because it makes us more vulnerable in the long run. Instead of ego, I want you to have confidence. Confidence is strong. Confidence is earned. Confidence is based on information.
All right. I can only listen to that much of it because he's wrong. He's wrong in a lot of aspects. I'm going to tell you why. You know, a lot of these like chintzy fucking Silicon Valley motivational speakers that are kind of always like peddling this fucking happy, feel good, you know, harmony, empathy, all this other bullshit. They're really the root of anti-masculinity. What they're trying to do is sell. I mean, let's first and foremost take a look at what this dude looks like. Like, let's break down his body posture and his body language. I'm not seeing a very strong, capable man that could fucking survive in times. Actually, yeah, can you guys see that? I don't know. I'm going to break down his body posture, right? If you look at that, I mean, slumped down shoulders. He's kind of got a round in his back and all this other stuff. He's just geeky looking, to be honest with you, right? He's not in really good shape. He's kind of soy if you really think about it. And these are the types of thoughts that come out of these types of gentlemen. That's just my prejudgment. But then I hear what he has to say. Now, yeah, he looks meek. That's great. That's a great way of saying it. I also like this. He can't escape the fact that he's projecting a false humbleness. Success porn, BS. Exactly. Do you think that is wrong? There's always a religion. Why not based around God? Ben Jones, Christianity is all about killing our nature to do better. Do you think that is wrong? There's always a religion that is not always based around God. SJW ideology is the same. I think that Christianity is actually more about sacrificing yourself and giving so much of yourself that you end up actually getting trampled on. That's really what it's kind of interpreted as. And it's also there's not really a lot of masculine virtues within Christianity. That's just me being honest with you. And I think that Christianity has also led to this kind of success porn, weak, individualistic kind of thing where people sit there and they talk about things like empathy and all this other stuff. They do talk about Jesus in this light quite a bit. And no one really talks about Jesus being in a very masculine light. There's not a lot of, people say there's red pill truths in the Bible. Yeah, I agree. There are some. But if you actually look back, those red pill truths are also in a whole bunch of other texts prior to that. So the Bible is not the originator of it. I think that's just how we've learned to get along as a society, holding on to these truths of like the man being the leader of the household and the man being in direct contact with. No, I haven't watched Caesar's Messiah. I'll check that out. Anyway, let's get back to it though, as far as the ego is concerned, because this is really what I want to get into. The ego is not a bad thing. And I'm going to tell you this, guys, because this is my experience with it. I was very much ego invested. I was a United States Marine. I was a special operations guy. I was a counterintelligence, human intelligence guy. I trained with Force Recon, completely ingrained and embedded into the teams with them. I did some of the craziest stuff in the world. I survived war in Afghanistan on the front line of the deadliest place. I have a medal for valor and bravery for some of my actions that I did while I was over there. And little did I know, I was still a pretty humble guy, but I was still being led by my ego. All of these things, all of my worth was about what my external worth was. And that's really what the ego is, right? The ego is kind of letting you know, and it's kind of ruled by the material. What I have is what defines my value. Okay, so that's ego for a man. My muscles, my dick, my car, my bank account, my clothes, all this other stuff. That's really ego-based stuff. And it's okay for the most part, but here's where ego needs to come in. And this is like the crux of what I'm really trying to get at. So I ended up losing my business. I got out of the Marine Corps. I had $275,000 that I'd saved up, that I had in mutual funds and all sorts of other stuff. I took all that money and I used it and I opened up my gym and I built a fucking phenomenal gym, CrossFit gym. It's called Pariah CrossFit in Oceanside, California. You guys can look this up to fact check me. I was a fucking high level CrossFit competitor. I sent 2 teams to the CrossFit regionals in 2014 here in Southern California, which is a tremendous feat. I was all about this stuff, and my value was based off of everything with that, right? But I was still super unhappy. I had some issues with PTSD from war, from my upbringing, things that I had never dealt with. I thought I was strong and that never was going to affect me, all this other crap. I threw myself into running my business 80 hours a week because I was running away from all sorts of stuff and I was trying to get rich in doing so. And then, wouldn't you know, after 2.5 years of running my business, I collapsed from all sorts of stuff, from working too much, from working out too much, from coming off of SSRIs, from PTSD, from my upbringing and all this other shit. And I was using cannabis. I was eating and I just started smoking cannabis quite a bit in order to wean off of my medications. And I was having all sorts of like eye-opening, mind-bending, consciousness-expanding thoughts that were actually leading to a lot of this stuff. So I actually end up in that moment kind of like having a bit of a manic episode because I came off of these fucking SSRIs, and that's actually a reaction from Cymbalta, is having a manic episode. That's why this shit's poison too, to be honest with you guys. Those things have such crazy side effects, and you're not supposed to, they want you on them for the rest of your life. So much so that when you try to come off, you have such terrible reactions that you want to go back on them because the withdrawals are so bad. So anyway, I'm having all these issues go on. Needless to say, my business fails. I close the doors. I'm about to lose my house. I'm losing all my friends. I have no more money. Everything that my ego was based around, my identity, all this other shit was gone. And in that moment and up to that point, I realized that I absolutely hated myself. I hated myself. And I got into all this hippie stuff because I was smoking weed all the time now. And that's what I was using in order to deal with my shit and disassociate from my shit. And I was all about swearing off materialism because I failed my fucking business. And I was all about killing my ego because my ego was what destroyed me. I love what Philip Franklin said here, and I'm going to get to it. I'm actually going to give you a better thing to kind of go off of. This is the whole reason why I wanted to come on here. This is a lesson that I want to teach you guys. So I tried to kill the ego and went down to Peru, drank ayahuasca, met my soul, came back and I had all these conversations going on still in my mind and in my spirit. Trying to kill the ego, figure out what's going on. I'm trying to rebirth myself as someone new because I fucking hated myself. And, you know, that's kind of what it was. That's the answers that were coming back. Well, if you kill your ego, you're killing you. You're killing a side of you. You're killing Corey Capello, let's say, right? That's my ego. And I was like, okay, fine. But then I was just an empty vessel. And I was this kind of like milquetoast fucking, not even, I was like an epsilon at this point in time, right? I wasn't even a fucking beta or a gamma. I was an epsilon. I was just fucking soulless and empty with no spine, because at that point in time, it was all about like the environment and shirking response, like pretty much like what all these SJWs are. That's really what it is they're these egoless kind of like spawns that will buy into the virtue of the time, right? They're sponges. They're nothing really, right? Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get there here in a second, Ben. And it wasn't until I actually had to like, this is some Jungian stuff too. Like I kind of like went into the abyss, and I came out of the abyss and I had learned something new. And the thing that I had learned the most about at this point in time was that the problem wasn't so much before that I had an ego. The problem was I had an imbalanced ego. Okay. That I wasn't in control of the boardroom. Instead, my ego was in control of the boardroom, if that makes sense. And when it's you as an individual, you need to be the CEO, and no one else can be the CEO. You have to be the one that makes the decisions. You have to be the one that values themselves high enough to say, I'm in charge, and it's my say, it's my stake. I'm 51% of the company. Fuck you. You know what I mean? But what I was doing was I was a bad CEO, and I was letting all my board members make all the decisions for me. And that's why I was out of whack. So this is what I want you guys. This is one of my favorite things to do. You know, this is like Jungian and Freudian all on the same token. This is how I fixed myself, believe it or not. I started looking at everything that was going on, right? I looked at myself as like multi-dimensional in the sense of like having different archetypes, right? Because all of us have different archetypes and personas that we wear in different environments. And then we have different people and other archetypes that come in and influence our own perception of ourselves, and they influence our decisions, right? They influence a whole bunch of other stuff. And a lot of the time, we're raised with people that aren't very healthy themselves, and their opinions that weigh into our decision-making are also very toxic. So I'll lay out my boardroom for you, if that makes sense, right? My boardroom was comprised of me. Let's say I'm the president, right? President and CEO. Yeah, I know he hates Jung too, but I think he misinterprets it. There are people out there that are like addicted to Jung, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is it, and that's it. And they kind of spin a very feminine, mysteriousness, mystical type of approach to it, which I agree with in most part, but it's not 100% the truth. So I get why he separates himself, but at the same time, Jung has a lot of truth when it comes, especially to the red pill, of like what our soul and our unconscious is comprised of. So this is kind of going into it though, and I'm just going to try to clean up that mess and kind of tie it into something a little bit newer, right? So you're the CEO, you're the president of the United States, you're the president of the company, you're the head person that's at the head of the fucking big, long boardroom table. Your ego should be your general of your militaries, of all your militaries, right? When the general is in charge of the entire government, that's a coup d'etat, right? That's a coup. If there's a power imbalance, because now you're going to have a tyranny, right? You're going to have a tyranny of this military man who believes that force is the right for everything, right? And that's kind of like, for your ego, it's material objects, it's material things. Your ego is very much grounded in the material. So they're going to go out and they're going to try to hoard as much of this stuff and say, hey, this is my value and I'm going to do things in certain ways. And when you let your ego kind of run and dominate things, it's not very balanced. It's going to do things in a very imbalanced, and I'd even say like somewhat tyrannical way, right? Then the other people that were in my boardroom were my mom, my dad, and my sister. My dad was this authoritarian, what's a phrase that I could use for him? He was like the naysayer and he was the saboteur. Everything that I was doing, he would always be behind the scenes, kind of like sabotaging things and like undercutting me. My mom was this individual that would kind of like give me the like, yes, do that, it's good for your health kind of thing, but as long as like you're staying attached to me. So it was like she was manipulating me in a way for everything to do to benefit her, because when she says yes to me, that means that I'm going to continue to love her. So it was a codependent relationship, right? And then my sister was just evil and spiteful, the type of person that was doing everything in order to just like get as much attention. Oh, that's what it was. Like this, and this is how my sister really was growing up. She would try to always revert everything back to her. Oh, he did this because I'm this. He did this because I'm this. So stealing my success and robbing me of my joy and all this other stuff, right? I call my sister like the evil stepsisters from like Cinderella. And then you had the rest of the board that wanted to help you out, but they couldn't do anything because these toxic individuals were like the ones that were right in your ear. It's like I don't know if you guys are Lord of the Rings fans. But you guys remember Rohan, right? The king of Rohan had that fucking wormtail motherfucker that was whispering in his ear, and he poisoned him with all this stuff, and he was poisoning him with all these thoughts, and to the point that he wasn't sending aid to go help out. I forgot. Wormtongue, exactly. Well, Wormtongue. That's exactly what his name was. But he wouldn't send his fighters and all this other stuff. And you could see how pasty white he was and all this other stuff. That's kind of what my boardroom was like before I had really come into my power and my authority, right? When I was letting the general run everything, and then I was letting these manipulative people have the voice in my ear that was telling me to do all this stuff out of like safety and love and all this other shit. How this ties into ego is you have all these different factions that are part of your mentality, your conscious and your subconscious and your ego. It wasn't until I decided to become the CEO of my boardroom and become what I call it, like being the president of the United States. I'm now the leader, right? My ego. This is actually like what my one of my good friends used to say. He's like, your ego should be like a little tiny Marine, right? Like this little fucking Marine doll. And you just put it right here in your coat pocket, and don't worry, because when you need it, you can always pull it out. But it should not be running the show. And that's kind of what I was letting it do. I was letting it run the show while I sat back as this kind of like meek and milquetoast kind of CEO, because I didn't want to screw up and I didn't want to hurt people's feelings and I didn't want to do all this other stuff. And it came from a place of scarcity and less value. I didn't think I was good enough. And it wasn't until the point that I realized, hey, I was good enough and I should be running the ship, right, of my own life. Did I step into that power and say, general, shut the fuck up, right? Ego, shut the fuck up. I will put you to work when we run into those situations. And you got to trust me that I know, and I will allow you to do that. And that's kind of all you need to do. It's kind of like with a woman too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Beautifully said. Running on autopilot like that can be very dangerous. And that's what it was. It was like running on autopilot. It was like not taking responsibility for the direction of my own life. And that's really what the red pill is, guys. Is the red pill is the ultimate, like, I am now the captain of my ship. I am 100% in charge and in control of the direction of my life. And I have finally come to terms with what my value is in life. And my value is something that stands firm when other people try to encroach on my boundaries. Here are my boundaries. Here's my flag that is staked in the ground, right? This isn't ego. This is just the self. This is who you are. You now know who you are. You know your value. You know your direction that you want to go in life. And you say, I am charging in this direction. And anyone else who does not want to go in that direction with me, get off the fucking ship now. And that's what you need to carry over into all of your relationships, not just with women. The reason why we talk mostly about with women is because it's the easiest way to really like let people know, because that's what we're all practicing. Our genetic drives and like a lot of our no kidding reward systems come from, pursuing and obtaining women. So it's easier to talk in the terms of gaming women, but game is with everything, right? Game is with everything. This should be with your inner circle, with your best friends. You should be running fucking tests and shit tests on your friends to ensure that they're in line with who you are and all this other stuff. This should be for everybody regardless, right? You should be, as a CEO, setting firm boundaries and saying this is that, right? Let's see. I was living on autopilot until I was 20. I finally got slapped by life and learned how to think on my own. Bro, you're lucky. I was 30 when this happened. This is coming up on, I'm about to be 35 in February. This stuff all started happening to me like the second I turned 30 years old. It's been a hell of a last 5 years of growth and transformation. Conk, I think this is where Cicero comes in. He studied and translated the works of the ancient Greek philosophers and acted as more of a modern filter. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I'm big time. I've studied a lot of philosophy, and that's why I push back. This is why I push back against people like this guy, right? I think I might have closed it out. No, I didn't. And then I'm going to share it again, because let's take a look at this guy again. Seriously, like, do you really want to be modeling your life based off of the way that this person looks, right? Tall, lanky, meek, no real style, not tan, not jacked. He kind of has fucking like open mouth breather-ness to him. Listen, don't get me wrong. Like I like some of Ryan Holiday's stuff, but just sitting there and reading 2 or 3 philosophers and then building your entire fucking lifestyle and your brand around that, and then deciphering their work, but not really having your own spin or take on it while you're not really walking the walk. That shit pisses me off, guys. That really does. Like the men that don't walk the walk, that fucking really, really gets me going. Corey's giving great knowledge for the corporate world. Be covert with what you say, but make your point known. Navigate carefully. Ryan Holiday does have a shit ton of cash. Absolutely. You're 100% right. But again, Jeff Bezos has a shit ton of cash. He's got a lot of money, and look at the fucking mistakes he's making in his life right now, especially when it comes to his frame and all this other stuff. Just because I talked about it a little bit earlier on Rule Zero. A lot of these guys, what they do is they only invest into one major area and they drive towards that. And they think just because they're specialized in that one environment and they become a master in that environment, that they're now a master of all things, right? And that's not true. Just because you become an alpha in one department of life doesn't mean it carries over. And that's really the direction that we're trying to go right now. That's why I gave that analogy with a lot of this stuff. That's why I talk if you guys go and you look at all the topics that I talk about in life, I talk about spirituality. I talk about finances. I talk about health and fitness. I talk about philosophy. I talk about game and girls. I talk about fragrances. I talk about fucking style, right? I talk about writing. I'm a fucking author. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not sitting here trying to tell you guys like, oh my God, I'm the fucking best guy in the world. But what I'm saying is when it comes to being well-rounded enough to thrive in this world, in this sexual market that we're vastly approaching, like you have to have your shit together in a lot of areas of life. You can no longer just be a fucking awesome coder that works at Google, but not be physically fit and not have your finances together and not be emotionally sound or not be spiritually inclined. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to hit all the wickets. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, I wrote a book. My first book is called Live Your Best Life in 30 Days. And I wrote that book as kind of a means. It's very self-helpy and philosophical. So it's self-help and philosophy. And what it is, and I wrote it as kind of like a means to like mass appeal, to start to open the door to the red pill for people. And this like the red pill style of life where like I'm the captain of my ship. Everything that I do is my frame. I'm going to specialize and I'm going to try to become a master in the 6 key areas of life. It's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the financial, and the relational. And they all go in order of easiest to hardest of what you can control. Exactly. A Renaissance man mindset. And we talked about that earlier today too on Rule 0. And I believe on John's Dude Party. Like, we are approaching right now Renaissance 2.0. And if you want to be the type of guy that's going to be able to have resources and women and money and looks and status, you got to be a fucking Renaissance man as well. And I think that's what, believe it or not, I think that's what Rule 0 and I think that's what Dude Party and everything that I'm trying to put together as well. I think that's what we're trying to create. And I think that's actually what you guys are attracted to. I think all of you guys are looking and you're realizing, man, I can no longer be the type of guy that just works a 40, 50 hour a week job, buys a house, buys a car, and then saves up for retirement to get women and expect life to be happy. I watched my mom and I watched my dad go through this, and I've seen it all happen over and over and over. And the reality is no one's really happy in that boat. I got to do what I can right now in order to invest as much possible into myself, become as well-rounded as possible in those key areas, and just kind of ride out the tide of doing that, right? So that's why mainly I wanted to come on here and talk to men about ego, because it's so funny. You know, John put up the, what's it called? John put up that poll during Rule 0. And it said, you know, who has the biggest ego out of the group? And it was between him, Rolo, and Rich. But John fucking nailed it. Yeah. Right here. Need to be masters of our own universes. That's exactly, we need to get rid of this religion stuff that you guys are kind of like harping on, and instead invest in yourself as a god. It's why my name is a God Amongst Men. It's a means to promote to people that you are good enough to call yourself a god and to visualize what a god is in your mind, right? Imagine yourself as a god and try to attain that standard while living here on earth, right? Like, that's the direction I want you all to start to look at it like. It's scary. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about that. But I mean, you don't know where you go after this. So why not live life here on earth like that? I mean, if I do end up going and meeting God afterwards, wouldn't that be a pretty cool conversation to have? Like, yo, dude, I was just trying to fucking live up to your fucking liking, right? Why not? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Tradcon plays into the feminist trap. Marry these feminist sluts, have the white picket fence, and wait for the divorce. Well, it's not just that too. You know, the big thing that they like to buy into with all that is they love to go to the church where they see all these people investing all this tax-free money. They like to build their social circle there and pretend as though they're these nice, innocent women. And then when the fucking iron is hot and their husband does anything just the slightest bit out of line, that they can oust them from that social strata and get access to church funds because now they're a single mom. And that's what's wrong. I'm actually arguing with a few people. Tanner Guzzi on Twitter right now, he wrote something about men not building up and not considering it to be masculine with high notch counts, right? So what he's trying to say essentially is it's not a masculine virtue to have a high notch count. And I argued back. I said, no, that's wrong, dude. Like, respectfully so, because, you know, I don't mind Tanner. I think he puts out some pretty good stuff. He's not too crazy. I mean, he's a bit purple pill. I'm not going to lie to you, especially after saying something like that. But the biggest thing that I've realized, everything that I talk to you guys about right now, I have a story to back up my experience I have a story to back it up, right? I have a story to back it up. My experiences back up everything that I've concluded, right? And then I give you a moral from my story. And I'm telling you guys, I have a 200 plus lay count. The more women I've slept with, the more I have been able to reinforce female nature and female behavior, understand it, right? And be able to put it into my frame. When I was a young lad, when I was a wee young lad, and I was all guilty about, feeling all guilty about having sex with all these poor innocent women, and I was ruining their chastity and all this other stuff, and I was lowering their value and all this other shit, right? All these things that these guys are going to tell you about, like, you're ruining these women. No. These are women making their own choices. If it's not me, it's going to be other men, right? And believing that these women are these sweet, innocent creatures that men need to protect is the biggest fucking lie that's ever been told to men on the fucking planet. These women are not sweet and innocent creatures. There's a reason why in the fucking Bible, Eve and the fucking snake fucking work together, because women are fucking snakes, right? They are fucking the closest thing to evil incarnate on the planet. And listen, I get it. Like, we need, I look at everything as polarities, right? Men represent the light. They represent goodness. They represent logic. They represent the building of things, right? And women are more destructive. They're more death. They're more chaos, all this other stuff. But we need it, right? It's two pistons in a fucking engine that keeps this reality going. So I don't blame them. Listen, like, to be honest with you, I do not blame women. I don't hate women for them being that way. That's how they were created. But to sit here and tell a lie based on this ideological fucking misnomer in order for you to feel happy about yourself and to get yourself out of, or to keep yourself in this little fucking fairy tale of comfort, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm going to push back against it. It is not masculine to be this little guy that sits here and believes that his wife is a fucking saint, and if I just treat her fucking really good all the time, she's going to stay with me and all this other stuff. It's like, no, she's going to lose respect for you. She's for sure going to fucking cheat on you. And at any fucking given moment, she is going to fucking turn on you. She's going to turn your church against you, and she is going to fucking bend you over no goddamn lube and take you through the fucking family courts. I would much rather you be prepared and look at women that way than sit there and look at them at like these fucking angelic beings, right? When you desire fucking peace, prepare for motherfucking war. I would rather be a fucking warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. That's all I'm fucking doing here. It is stoic philosophy when it comes to this shit. I would much rather you be prepared to fucking fight and be prepared for what you could get into than not be prepared at all and get your fucking ass zeroed out, right? That's what it comes down to. Like, let's be honest about shit. Let's just be fucking real, and let's teach men the fucking truth about stuff rather than teaching them these ideals and having them get fucking tossed into a fucking wood chipper. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how fucked this is. So when men sit there and they try to tell, like, any guy to this point in time, I don't care who you are. Like, again, there's this fucking trans person on fucking Instagram that tried to post something up about what it means to be fucking masculine. And it's like, you need to be empathetic and you need to be open and you need to ask consent. And I was like, I just straight called him out. I was like, fuck you for your redefinition of masculinity. Like, stop what you're doing. You're doing more harm than good. Like, shut the fuck up. That is not masculine. And it's like, oh, you're just trying to bring things back to a repressive time of toxic masculinity. It's like, no. For millennia before my birth, masculinity has been around. These definitions of things masculine have been around. And why is that? It's because it's how we're fucking created and it's how we're meant to fucking survive. We need this type of masculinity in order for our fucking genes to continue, for life to fucking continue. That's why masculinity exists. It's why femininity exists. They're two polar opposites in order for them to fucking push and charge the engine ahead. You sitting here and coming in with your fucking stupidity of trying to change the definition because you're fucking woke and all this other bullshit, you're fucking wrong. You're wrong. It's like coming in and saying fucking 2 + 2 is 5. Oh, well, I believe it's 5. Well, I don't give a fuck what you believe. I believe in facts. So shut the fuck up. Get back in your fucking corner and lick some fucking paint off the goddamn wall. Let the men fucking do the heavy lifting around here. Plain and simple, right? Like, you can exist. You just can't fucking run things. That's really what it comes down to, right? You can exist. You can go over there in the corner and you can whisper your sweet nothings about what you fucking wish masculinity to be, but I'll be over here fucking lifting the goddamn weight, building fucking society, drawing up the fucking architecture plans, funding it with all this other shit, fucking moving the fucking stone from the fucking quarry, doing all this shit. Meanwhile, you sit over here and you fucking play patty cake with your fucking invisible friend of what you think fucking masculinity should be, right? Like, this is bullshit. You're fucking full of shit. You don't have any fucking grounds of what your life should really be. You don't have any grounds of what you think this should be. Like, you only imagine. It's fairy fucking tale land, right? And that's all I'm trying to say to these people. It's either on the far left or it's on the far right. Everyone has their little ideal of what things should be. And it's like, no, here's the truth. Walk down this fucking middle road and just keep fucking walking, right? Don't stop and admire the view and say, oh, well, you know, it should be. Just keep fucking walking. Just keep going in this direction. We've been doing it for fucking 150,000 years. Just keep going down this road, right? Ben Jones, I love you, bro, but I don't understand where you're coming from with all this fucking Jesus stuff, dude. Like, are you red pill or are you fucking a Jesus freak? Like, there's not a lot of stuff in the Bible that teaches men any of what I'm telling you right now, right? It teaches you to be pure and monogamous and all this other stuff. I'm sitting here right now saying bang as many girls as possible so you can learn female fucking nature, right? Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel shameful about it. Plain and simple. You need to fucking bang a lot of women in order to learn their nature. You need to get this fucking idealist version of what you want life to be out of your mind and instead marry the fucking truth and the reality of things in life right now. That's it. Right? This ties very well into the whole ego thing too, because a lot of people rest on religion to make them feel good about their beliefs. And the other thing too is a lot of people that are really religious, they do it because mom and dad raised them up to be that way. They raise them up to be that way. So really, when it comes down to not shirking religion, it's actually you trying not to push back against mom and dad, because mom and dad are the first representations of God that we are able to fathom, right? Because they're responsible for bringing us in this world. They're responsible for fucking taking care of us, and they're bigger than life to us. The boy still believes in their parents as being this pure fucking thing though, right? The one thing that I like to talk about, yeah, Ubermensch, for sure. You know, Nietzsche does go down some road of fucking nihilism, but a little bit of nihilism doesn't hurt as long as you revert back to fucking getting on the path of what I was talking about. But here's the big thing. Most people, this is one image that I try to get in people's minds when it comes to their parents. Your mom and your dad fucked. When they had you, they fucked. Your dad probably bent your mom over fucking drunk and coke-addled and fucking put a fucking massive load into her doggy style. As a matter of fact, he probably fucking put in her butt 10 minutes beforehand and stuck it in her puss fucking right afterwards, treating her like a dirty whore, right? This wasn't no fucking missionary fucking candlelight making love type of shit. You are probably a rage fuck. That's what you are, right? But everybody, for some fucking reason in their mind, likes to think of themselves as like, oh, mommy and daddy were in love and I was a love baby. It's like, no. Get that image stuck in your head. Think of your mom as a trashy whore. Think of your dad as a brutish fucking Neanderthal that was just getting a fucking nut, right? That's the reality of things. That's how fucking kids are born, right? But we end up fucking putting our parents on this fucking pedestal and end up believing all this bullshit that they taught us. And we don't want to let them down. And it's like, no, our parents didn't prepare us well enough for the realities of the world. That's my biggest pushback too with that stuff. Anyway, with that said, yeah, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, fucking awesome book. If you don't know anything about Zoroaster or Zoroastrianism, it's one of the oldest religions, and it actually ties into a lot of stuff that we were talking about tonight, on top of a lot of the things that you guys are talking about too. Someone told me to watch something earlier. Just wanted to extend a thank you to Corey. You got me to quit college. Start on a framing crew Monday. Cannot wait to get started in the trades. Look at this motherfucker. I got some pushback too against when I said this to people. My biggest thing, and I'll tell you one thing, dude, if you want to get good with game and you want to get involved in some high level stuff, get into a sales job after you learn some of this trade and you kind of cut your teeth a little bit. Get into a sales job. Get your real estate license and get into real estate. Build wealth, build trade. Like you should as a fucking 20-year-old boy. I'm going to call you a boy. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. Not you personally, but 20-year-olds. You guys are young lads that have no direction in life. Go cut your teeth in the real world. Learn these things. But I definitely highly recommend that you go get a fucking sales job later on too. It's the hardest, scariest thing you'll ever do. Anything based on commission, holy fuck, man. Putting food on your table, you got to fucking hunt. You got to hunt for your food. It's crazy. Someone told me to watch something earlier. Had something to do with philosophy, I think. I'll scroll through the fucking chat later on. No big deal. New comments coming in. Current school system is outdated. You're absolutely 100% right. That's actually what my second book is going to be about, on top of how to restructure everything. Good deal. I'll keep that in mind. Car sales is hard, but if you like cars, I say why not? I did timeshare just for fucking shits and giggles to get put through the pipeline. Right now I'm doing mortgage sales. So it depends. It depends on what you want to do in your future. If you're looking to get into real estate, if you're looking to acquire real estate, which is what I'm doing, I'm buying rental properties and multifamily and stuff. It's smart for you to get involved in the real estate world. Get your real estate license and go like what I'm doing right now. I'm selling mortgages so I can understand the whole background behind mortgages. But it's some of the best training in the world, especially when it comes to games, sales and sex. I want to write a book about it. It's so they're all in line. And I tell you what, you need to, Chance. Okay, cool. Couldn't see him. I thought he was outside. Yeah. If you're terrible with game, get into a sales job right away. Figure out a way to do it. But, started sales. It is difficult, but when I get the hang of it, I will make bank. You're absolutely right. I look at it as like a fucking gauntlet, dude. It's kill or be killed, right? It'll transform you. It'll transform you as a person. It'll test your patience. The biggest issue that most men have, especially in this community, is the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection. And you get rejected a lot in sales. It teaches you thick skin. It teaches you how to sit in an environment that is very uncomfortable, and it relays perfectly over to approaching and dates. If you can master sales, you are going to be fucking the top 1% of this country. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Look at my boy Grant Cardone if you want any help with sales and real estate. I'm wearing his hat right now. Grant Cardone, 10X. Don't be a little bitch here on the side, it says. I don't want Tarantino to get scared. I'm going the wrong way, Tarantino. Oh, don't be a little bitch. 10X. The 10X Rule is a great book to buy if you're looking to do something like that. Sell or be sold as well. On it. I will focus on that. Thank you for your advice, and your guidance is much appreciated. Hey, buddy, too, at the same time, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Eli. Join the WarTribe. It's $20 a month, but you're also going to get access to me every single weekend on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we have webinars like this, where it's not going to be you just writing in stuff on a comment section. You're going to actually have me face to face. I'm going to see you face to face with everybody else in the WarTribe as well. And I'll be able to diagnose where you're at in life and help you kind of drive towards that direction. I posted the wrong fucking thing in the chat. It's the WarTribe. I did that the other day too. The WarTribe.com. Are you guys seeing any of the links that I'm putting in there? Give me a 1 in the chat, because I think I went through it before. I think what I need to do is actually pull up the what's it called on YouTube, and I need to make myself a moderator or some shit. I don't know, dude. I'm retarded when it comes to technology. Where are you at? Are you guys seeing my stuff? Did you guys see the WarTribe posted in there? 111. Fuck yeah. Awesome. It's text, not a hyperlink. No worries. Just as long as you fucking know where to go. I'm sure you're a big boy and you know how to fucking click copy paste. I'm going to vamoose. Hit the like button right now too, you motherfuckers. 1311. Join the War Tribe. Click that link right there. Seth Gibson, yes. It's not clickable, but it's posted. Yeah, that's fine. Fucking copy and paste it, or you could type it. Also, last thing is if you're not a part or if you're not in Body Language Mastery, Q4, you need to do that. And I'm going to post that in the fucking link as well. Copy link address. I had a fucking amazing fucking back day today too. I did back, shoulders, and biceps. It was crazy. Anyway, I'm going to go eat some steak, feed my fucking dog, put Tarantino in his cage, and write some more of my book. So with that said, I'll tell you why too. It's a Sunday or Saturday night. I got a whole bunch of hosts hitting me up. I'm telling you, I've fucked so many girls the past few weeks that I'm like fucked out. I'm done with it. I'm bored. I'm a kid who has eaten too much chocolate lately, right? I ate a whole fucking chocolate cake. Not really. I'm saying fucking as an analogy for sex. And I'm just kind of sitting here rubbing my fat belly like I shouldn't have done that. So now I'm going to get refocused. I want my new relationship. I want to have a menage a trois this year with millions and millions of dollars. I want to take $1 million and I want to take another $1 million and I want to fuck them both at the same time. Oh, with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. with John Fitch. And then if you are not a part of WarTribe, get over to fucking WarTribe now. We will start the webinars tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard on WarTribe. I will put the link in the forum at 4:50. So log on to WarTribe at 4:50. I will put the link in there. And we will have our webinar at 5 p.m. So to repeat that, John Fitch tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. live here on this channel. WarTribe webinars, 5 p.m. Log into WarTribe at 4:50, and you'll get the link to be a part of that. With that said, fucking see you later. Oh.